Hello and welcome to Colin's Time for Tea, episode 3. Thank you for joining me for afternoon tea. Today's tea, despite the fact that it is ridiculously hot, I thought, let's have a hot tea. I have gone for a lovely ginger digestive style one. It's a digestive, I can't say it, digestive. It's got ginger in it. It's lovely. Oh, well, that's mighty hot. Mighty hot. The reason I chose ginger today was because my snack for this week is, mini key lime tartlets. So it's little mini key lime pies that I made, I don't know, like 3 years ago for my channel. Put this away. I brought a plate this week. Oh, I know, I'm going up in the world. So my mini key lime tartlets are basically just digestive. It's almost like a cheesecake, but kind of not a cheesecake because there's no cheese in there. So it's nothing like a cheesecake. It's more like a key lime pie. I don't know what I'm doing. So what you gonna do? I'm gonna eat it anyway. Oh wow. Just watch me eat this, guys. Enjoy. This is episode 3. How am I married? Wash it down with a swig of very hot tea. Oh, did I get it all? I know. Right. So this week we will be talking a little bit about baking, surprisingly enough. We'll be talking a little bit about Ocean's 8, which is a movie I saw recently. And we'll be talking a little bit more about my move to Chicago and how that's going on. So the main thing I wanted to discuss with you this week is baking. How does everyone enjoy baking? I presume you're on my channel because you like baking and you've seen some of my recipes, so thank you very much for that. If you have subscribed, even more thanks. I've got 1,228 of you as of right now, all in the palm of my hand. So baking, yeah, I started baking like 5 years ago. What year is this? 2018, but about 5 years ago. And I started the channel because I filmed it on Snapchat when I made my very first Victoria sponge, and then people found it really funny to watch me. So because I love attention, I decided to put it on YouTube, and then people watched that one, even though it was all in like vertical. I learned quite quickly that I've got my own style of baking, and that style is So a lot of people take a lot of pressure on themselves to get it exactly right and making sure it looks pretty and it's beautiful. And I know that that's something that people do want because perfection is everything. And I know that a lot of people are making sure that they understand and they want to make sure it goes right. But my understanding, it can be quite frustrating when it doesn't go right. But I think, well, does it look right? Yeah, that's fine. Does it taste right? That's the important thing. And because of this, somehow Charlotte White, who does lots of amazing bakes, and she's like the queen of divas, she asked me if I would help with the Foodies Festival this year. So I'm going to be helping out with the Foodies Festival in Tatton Park in Manchester and actually be doing some demos. So that will be fun. I'll have some audience participation because, well, this will be the first time I've ever done it. So I'm not really sure how timings work. And also what I'm quite excited about is the fact that there'll be an oven that is nice. Like, not that there's anything wrong with my oven, but it doesn't bake evenly, so I have to keep turning things around and like making sure the heat is slightly different to what I suggest because I know that that's the right temperature, but the temperature of my oven is so off. I have an oven thermometer, which does help. Anyway, back to the Tatton Park. So if any of you are going to Tatton Park Foodies Festival on the 13th, 14th and 15th of July, come say hello. That'd be very nice to see you, especially if you come to see my demo. And you'll also get to see my style of baking, which, like I've said before, is give it a try, see how it goes. My mum was quite surprised when she came to visit last week, and she was very amused by the fact I'm like, yeah, it's fine, don't worry about it. Yeah, stick it in the bowl. If you just mix it with your hands, it's all good. As I've learned with this, it's nice to be technical because, you know, maybe if I tried a little harder, it wouldn't have had a soggy bottom, but that feels so good. Hands down, my favourite recipe to make is the shortbread. So the shortbread that I've made from pretty much the start of when I was baking is my mum's recipe, which came from my gran. So it's kind of like the McRae family recipe, which I've shared with everybody, so it's not a secret anymore. I've shared it through song, I've shared it through vegan ways, I've shared it through Pokemon. So yeah, there's lots of different ways for you to make the shortbread. And that is my favourite bake just because I know now that I can do it without even having to think. I just stick it in the oven and I can kind of smell when the shortbread is ready, which I know sounds very weird, but I can. I also have a timer, so that helps too. So that's baking. That's pretty much that. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is Ocean's 8. So Ocean's 8 is obviously is it the next sequel? Is there 3 films for the original? I think there was 3, so it's the 4th one. Or is it the 3rd one? Let me know in the comments. I really can't remember. I don't think I've seen the 3rd one if it does exist. So that basically it's the next part in the franchise of the Ocean's theme franchise thing. And it stars all females this time. There was a huge uproar with a lot of people because the internet is just, get over it, seriously. It's like, women are people too. Like, also, Sandra Bullock is a legend. Come on, how could you not love Sandra Bullock? She is my favourite actress. I love her. Speed 2, Cruise Control, one of my favourite films. Obviously there's Miss Congeniality, there is Speed, but yeah, Speed 2, Cruise Control. And 28 Days, if anyone's ever seen 28 Days, where Sandra Bullock goes to rehab and she's there with Azura Sky and what's his face from Lord of the Rings. Oh, it's such a good film. Definitely recommend it. But anyway, back to Ocean's 8. The cast was incredible. Even Anne Hathaway, who I normally love, annoyed me. So that means that she was obviously doing a great job of an actor. This is why I also hate the guy who played Joffrey in Game of Thrones. I hate him so much, but only because he did such a good job at being Joffrey. Oh, you know that an actor is good if you hate them, and that's supposed to be their character. And even afterwards, you just start thinking, maybe I just don't like them. Maybe they're just not that like that in real life. I don't know. Anyway, so the movie is basically the same premise as Ocean's 11, 12, and potentially 13. That Sandra Bullock gets out of jail and she has a heist in mind that she's been practicing for like 5 years in her head. I'm not really sure how she knows all the ins and outs of things, but that's fine. And she meets up with Cate Blanchett, who is fantastic. My friends Lottie and Heather came with me, so we went to the cinema together. We were almost late. They were laughing at me for being ridiculously stressed out about like not being on time for the trailers, because I don't mind being a little bit late for the trailers, but it stresses me out if I know that I'm gonna have to walk up those stairs in front of everybody just as the movie's starting. Because if I trip, if anything happens, if I can't find my seat and I'm just wandering around. So they came with me, and Lottie was obsessed with Cate Blanchett's character. She was saying that she was the most gay character ever, and she loved it. And I agree. I think it was amazing. Like, Cate Blanchett's character, there was clearly some lesbian like character going on there, and it was brilliant. And I thought that was a great representation. Let me know what you thought about that in the comments below. But I loved the whole thing. Mindy Kaling was amazing. Rihanna was brilliant. Yeah, the whole idea of using a 3D printer with cubic zirconia. Like, I'm not going to spoil the film, but it is great. I love the little cameos from certain people, which again I will not say if you haven't seen it. Even if the other films hadn't existed, this film would be a great standalone film, and I think it really represented the Ocean's theme on its own. Just because I love a heist movie, and as long as you're watching it and it's fun and there's a little bit of trickery at the end, a little bit of like switcheroo, then... But anyway, Ocean's 8, 2 thumbs up, absolutely loved it. Go and see it. Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett, Mindy Kaling. Who else is in it? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, Helena Bonham Carter. Okay, sorry, right, I forgot. There is one thing that I don't like about it. Helena Bonham Carter's Irish accent. That was not an Irish accent. That was so bad. I mean, Helena Bonham Carter, you're brilliant, but stop it. It was actually really nice to actually see Helena Bonham Carter not being Helena Bonham Carter in all the Tim Burton films. She did actually do a really good job of not being the usual kooky character. Yes, she was a kooky character, but kooky. But yeah, anyway, right, so yeah, that was the only thing. Stop. Oh, no, my God, no, I forgot. James Corden. The whole movie was swimming along nicely and everything just seemed to fit. And then James Corden character came in. It's not that he didn't need to be there, because his character was important to the storyline, but I felt like it was James Corden in Ocean's 8. He wasn't really being the character. He was being James Corden being awkward and British. So I just kind of... No. I mean, a lot of people like him, but I'm not a big fan. I just don't think what he offers is what I like. That's me being diplomatic. I just can't be bothered with him. So I groaned a little bit out loud. Yeah, that was Ocean's 8. And Chicago. What's happening with Chicago? So 2 episodes ago, as in episode 1, the very first one, I mentioned that I am moving to Chicago with my husband Sam. So what's happening now? It's now like 3 or 4 weeks, 5 weeks? I don't know. It's 3 weeks till I finish work and about 4 or 5 weeks till we go. So we're now kind of setting up. Oh my God, it's almost a month before we go. Oh, what? So we're setting up now. We're cancelling all direct debits so that those are cancelled. We're trying to figure out what to do with our phone contract, because we figured we'd go pay as you go and then just sort that out later on, because I don't want to lose my number. I love my number. It's so easy to remember. I'm not going to tell you now because obviously this is the internet. Yeah, so moving to Chicago, we're quite stressed. Well, not stressed. We've got all the boxes. Everything's ready to go. We're now just almost there. We're going to start getting rid of books. We're going to start getting rid of like clothes and starting getting rid of furniture at some point within the next 2 to 3 weeks, which is even more fun because I have the baking thing to do and I have no extra days off because I'm visiting people on the other days. If you guys have ever moved recently or in the past, can you give me some hints and tips as to what to do to be less stressed? I've tried to be organised, but I also don't want to put everything in boxes now, but I know it's going to need to happen soon. So any tips and hints on how to move things smoothly, let me know. We are shipping things over, but yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on. I'm just going to have some more cake right now because I'm feeling a little bit stressed. Oh, I think the soggy bottom's fixed. Oh no, no it's not, no. It's good with the whipped cream. Oh my god, I left the whipped cream out the fridge. Nah, well. Yeah, there's a reason I've only decorated one for this. Too much hassle. On that note, I will be going to finish this off, to finish off a few extra things that I'm baking, because why not just bake more than one thing in one day? And then, yeah, I'm going to edit this video and upload it for you guys. So, my name is Colin. This is Colin's Time for Tea. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week. Eating some more. This is the first time I've actually finished this. Oh.